They love me, all my people with me. They love me all. They will die to protect me, my people.
President of the United States, the leaders of Britain and other leaders are calling on you to step down, to leave Libya, to leave your position of power.
Muammar Gaddafi, a name that sparks controversy like few others. To some, a brutal dictator who ruled with an iron fist. To others, a revolutionary who gave his people free homes, free healthcare, and dared to challenge the world's most powerful financial system. But what was he really trying to build? And why did his vision lead to such a violent end? This is the full story of Gaddafi, his rise, his dreams, his empire, and his dramatic fall. Before Gaddafi, Libya was a poor desert kingdom under King Idris. It was a land of tribes struggling to find its place after centuries of Ottoman and Italian rule. In 1959, oil was discovered, promising wealth but also attracting foreign interests. Libya remained dependent on the West. The United States, Britain, and Italy maintained military bases, and the economy was controlled largely by foreign oil companies. Many Libyans felt their country was exploited, poor despite its natural wealth. Born in a Bedouin tent in 1942, Gaddafi's early years were shaped by desert hardship and tribal traditions. He joined the military academy, where he formed a secret group of young officers determined to change Libya's future. On September 1, 1969, at just 27, Gaddafi led a bloodless coup that overthrew King Idris. The monarchy was gone, and Libya was declared a Jamahiriya, or state of the masses. Gaddafi's promise was clear: no more foreign control, no more poverty, and a new Libya ruled by its people. Gaddafi was unlike any leader before him. He rejected Western democracy and Soviet communism alike. Instead, he published the Green Book, an unusual political manifesto combining Arab nationalism, socialism, and Islamic principles. He called for direct democracy, where people governed themselves through popular committees. But in reality, power stayed firmly in his hands. His ideas inspired some, but alienated others. Still, his social programs were impressive: free education, healthcare, subsidized housing, and the largest water project ever seen. One of Gaddafi's proudest achievements was the Great Man-Made River, a massive engineering project that tapped underground fossil water to irrigate Libya's deserts. It supplied water to cities and farms, transforming the harsh landscape. This project alone symbolized Gaddafi's vision of self-reliance and progress. Libya's oil wealth funded new schools, hospitals, and roads, improving the lives of millions. But Gaddafi's ambitions went far beyond Libya's borders. He dreamed of a united Africa, a continent free from Western control. At the African Union Summit, he pushed for a single African army and one currency. His boldest plan? The creation of the gold dinar, a new currency backed by Africa's vast gold reserves. This currency was meant to replace the US dollar and French franc, which dominated African trade and kept many nations dependent on the West. By demanding oil and other resources be sold only in gold, Gaddafi threatened the entire global financial system. To understand why this was revolutionary, you must know the role of the US dollar in global economics. For decades, oil and most global trade have been priced in dollars, a system called petrodollars. This gave the US enormous economic and political power. Gaddafi's gold-backed African currency challenged this system. It promised economic independence for Africa, breaking the chains of foreign control. Leaked diplomatic cables and reports show Western governments were deeply worried. Many analysts believe this was a major reason for the military intervention that would soon follow. In early 2011, the Arab Spring swept the Middle East and North Africa. Libya was no exception. Protests erupted against Gaddafi's decades-long rule. He responded with brutal repression, snipers, tanks, and airstrikes on his own people. His infamous speech vowed to fight Zenga Zenga, alley by alley, house by house.
سنزحف أنا والملايين لتطهير ليبيا شبر شبر. بيت بيت، دار دار، زنقة زنقة، فرد فرد.
The violence sparked a full-scale civil war. Rebel forces, backed by NATO airstrikes, pushed hard to overthrow him. Cities like Benghazi and Misrata became battlegrounds, With thousands killed and millions displaced, the UN authorized a no-fly zone, and NATO launched a campaign to protect civilians. Western countries saw Gaddafi as a tyrant, but critics argue their motives were tied to controlling oil and blocking his gold currency plan. Bombs destroyed Libya's military infrastructure, weakening Gaddafi's forces. The war dragged on for months, devastating Libya's economy and society. On October 20th, 2011, Gaddafi's reign ended. Trying to escape his hometown Sirte, his convoy was attacked by NATO jets. He fled and hid in a storm drain, but was found by rebel fighters. The world saw shocking footage of his capture and brutal death. His violent end symbolized the fall of an era, but the war had just begun. Without Gaddafi's iron grip, Libya descended into chaos. Militias, tribes, and extremist groups battled for power. The country fractured into rival governments, oil fields were contested, and violence became daily life. Some Libyans mourned the loss of stability and social programs. Others called for democracy and freedom. But one truth remains: Gaddafi was the last leader to challenge the global system on his terms and paid the ultimate price. His dream of a free, united Africa backed by gold may have failed, but it still echoes today.